to the Smart Twitter show Smart Twitter talk show. And I'm Elizabeth Hall with Smart Office Help Social Media Agency. And I help entrepreneurs and small business owners to find their audience on Twitter, to connect with them on a consistent basis. And then also I teach them or show them how to guide their followers to where I call where the magic happens so that they can make the conversions and get people into their sales funnels. And I also coach the business owners and entrepreneurs as well on Twitter marketing techniques so that they can boost their visibility up and also, again, so that they can make the sale because that's what we're in business for. And go ahead, Thomas, introduce yourself.
Well, good afternoon. My name's Thomas Clark. I'm the founder and CEO, Chief Bottle Washer of Charlotte Social 360. We are a agency headquartered here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I think someone asked where we're from, so I'm right outside of the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And what we do is primarily somewhat similar to Elizabeth. We look at I love Twitter as a platform, but we look at all the social media networks and we help our client. We pretty much professionally manage your social media for you for small businesses, large businesses, and solopreneurs, consultants, dentists, doctors, chiropractors, just a number of different type of businesses. And what we do is pretty much manage it professionally, kind of help you find your avatar and pretty much market to them. We work very closely with our clients, big and small, large businesses, where we actually doing the marketing, and we give them access to our software that allows them to actually work with us if they like, and they can still continue to post and do the postings that they want. And we basically guide them on down the journey of success, because maybe at the bottom line, at the beginning of the day, we just help you. The goal is to get you new clients and then deepen your relationship with your existing clients for all your products and services.
And so if you haven't been on our show before, then again, welcome to the Smart Twitter Talk Show, where we talk everything, all Twitter marketing. Today, we're going to be talking about ways to attract warm Twitter followers for maximum engagement, because that's really important if you're going to be using Twitter for your business. Now, before we get started, we always like to kind of give like some rules, and I'm no rule breaker, but me and Thomas like structure, so we always kind of lay the rules out in the beginning so people kind of know how the show is going to flow. And what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and give you guys some points for what we're going to be talking about. And I really would like for you to take some notes and take action for the information that I'm giving you, because we're really going to kind of dig deep. There may be some things that you may think that you've heard before, but we try to dig deep into those blanket statements and really kind of give you some information that you can take back and immediately implement on your Twitter profile. We don't hold any information behind. And so with that, make sure over in the chat, you guys can chat nicely. We don't like trolls. There's no punching, no boxing gloves over there. So play nicely in the chat over there. If you have any questions, again, just put that /Q in a space and then put your question. And we're going to answer the questions at the end of the hour. So we're going to give you, we're going to talk about the ways to attract warm Twitter followers for maximum engagement. And that's going to take us about an hour. And then after that, we're going to have a half an hour that will answer any questions that you have. And we'll also pull some people in if you are willing to be on camera. If you're camera ready, which you don't really have to be, because I always say Blab is the pajama network. So it's okay if you come on and ask your question in person. You can do that as well. And so the things that we're going to talk about, these are all things that I talk about over at the Twitter Mastery Lab also. So after you get done here, you can head over to twittermasterylab.com and check that out as well. So again, we have a survey for those of you that are just coming on that we would love for you to take. And I'm going to post a link here so that you can take our survey. And I'll have it posted again at the end of the Blab as well, so that we can find out what you all are looking for when it comes to Twitter information, because, at first glance, Twitter it looks super easy and it doesn't look like it's useful, but believe me, we've really kind of dug deep into that. And so I've actually written a book about it. And it's actually called a Twitter Marketing Action Sheets. It's called Dig Deep and Excel Twitter Marketing Action Sheets Guide. And I don't know, do we have anybody here in the audience that has already purchased the book? It's over on Amazon. If we have, I love if you could put a 1 in the chat so I can see. If you haven't purchased it, you can put a 2. But if you had a 1, I would love to know if you purchased the book, which is Dig Deep Twitter Marketing Action Sheets Guide. And we got a 2, so you haven't gotten it yet. And again, it's over on Amazon, and I'll post a link to that a little bit later in the show as well. And all right. So again, we're going to be talking about ways to attract warm followers. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And first, let me just ask you all a question as far as engagement. Do you find that when you're over on Twitter that people don't really, like, you can get followers, but people don't really talk to you? If you're having that issue where people are not really engaging with you and you can't really figure out why, put a 1 over in the chat. If it seems like it's just something that you haven't been able to grasp, and we're not judging anybody, and this is not going anywhere. So we have one person that says, yeah, that's kind of an issue. And so what we try to do when we coach people is to help them to figure out, maybe they're not talking to the right people. Maybe it's the content that they put out. So these are some of the things that we're going to go over in today's show. So we're going to jump into our first topic. And the first thing we want to talk about is images. And again, some of these topics, they seem very simple, but when you look at them from a marketing standpoint, because if you're here on the show, you're probably here because you market your business and you want to use Twitter for your business. And Twitter is extremely easy to use. You have a global audience. So I always say, when you're using Twitter for your business and you're marketing your business on Twitter, you are tweeting to planet Earth. So you might have a business that kind of thrives regionally, but just know that when you're tweeting, that you're tweeting globally. And so when you send a tweet out, it is tweeting to planet Earth. And so your images, they take on an extra job of really adding visibility to your tweets. So you always want to use the correct image sizes when you're using your images. And it's good if you can use an image on the majority of the tweets that you have, because it just really makes things stand out. Now, I actually had someone that told me, they said, I don't really, my Twitter feed is fast. So when I'm looking at my Twitter feed, the things that stick out to me are the ones that have images on them. And to me, I kind of gravitate that way too. When I see an image on a tweet, those are the ones that catch my attention and the ones that I look at. So to even go even further than to just putting any old image is to make your images stand out and tell a story. And you could easily do that by adding some text to your images. And that way it kind of stands alone. And of course you want to put like your branding on there as well. So if I post like an image for one of my blog posts, I always make sure I put a little line there that says by Smart Office Help, or maybe it has from the twittermasterylab.com. So you always want to make sure that your images stand out. And remember, Twitter is still social and people still share what you're putting out, or hopefully they will be sharing once you pick up some of these techniques that we're going to give you. And so when they share those out, they share that image, and your image has your information on it as well. So I think images are a great way to make your tweets stand out and really kind of do some of the legwork for you. What do you think, Thomas?
Well, I guess what I'd like to add, when you think about Twitter, and this may seem like common sense. We have what, 303 million users globally. So it's a busy network. It's 500 million tweets going out. So think about that's what you're competing against, which
Mm-hmm.
are for your business, right? So it's really important. What I've seen, and we get into statistics, and I would suggest you take notes on this, but test it on average. Because matter of fact, I just tested one last night just to see if this was true, and I just tested for our clients. On average, I see at least, if not more, 50% more engagements, more impressions, more profile clicks, more. So, I mean, and you test it in your own businesses. I mean, put
Mm-hmm.
graphics on some tweets and then, or images on tweets, and then just put out text and just see the engagement. And I mean, see how the engagement it goes up. And like I said, I've seen at least for a majority of our clients, 50% more engagement with tweets with graphics versus tweets with no graphics and things of that nature.
All right. So let's go on to the next topic. All right. Which is videos. And that kind of goes around along the same lines as the images as well. And also kind of flip flopping back to the images too. Somebody asked me, they said, I was trying to give them information about the images. And they said, well, do you post images on your information? And I said, yes. On probably 95% of my tweets have
Mhm.
large, beautiful, stunning images. You heard that, stunning. They have stunning images on them because I want them to stand out so that people will share my tweets. But the videos are the same way as well. And even if you're posting the videos from an external site like YouTube, it will pick up the thumbnails. So if you are using YouTube for your business and you have videos there, it's another thing that you need to do. You need to do is to have some thumbnails, not just let YouTube pick what your thumbnail is going to be. So I'm not going to really go into that because we're staying on the Twitter side, but you want to have like images again that stand out, that are stunning, that are colorful, that tell a story, so that people will want to engage with those particular tweets. And the videos are the same way. Now, the videos for Twitter that you can post natively on the Twitter network, that's kind of new because all the platforms now, the social media platforms now, are actually making it easier to post media in the video format. And so Twitter has done that as well. So you can actually post videos directly onto Twitter. Now I have to admit that I haven't used it as much just yet because it is kind of still new, but I have used it especially around the holiday time. That was like just the perfect time to use it. And I don't know, Thomas, have you used the video features yet?
We've done that a little, have not used a lot. I mean, that is an area that we are still really still testing and exploring for our clients. The little we have used it, I've actually seen more interaction with the videos than we have with just the straight images even. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so it's certainly something that you certainly want to use. But I said, as far as the actual overall mission, as far as stats, I can't really say at this particular point because that's something we're still testing for the agency as well as for our clients. The use of videos on Twitter, but I mean, but it's a lot of things happening now with the announcement, like from Periscope last week, that all videos are now native on Twitter. I mean, that's huge. I mean that's a huge implication for anybody that's on Twitter and want to use Twitter as a video platform and things of that nature to gain more engagement, more exposure for the business.
Mm-hmm.
But
And now you can also not only just use the videos kind of on an ordinary basis, but you can use them for make you can make like mini ads or commercials. You can use it for your marketing, and that's another great way for your videos to stand out because they automatically start playing when you pull them through your feed. So that's a this is I could see it has some good implications
yep,
have the videos
Yeah.
on using them within your strategy.
Yeah, it certainly should be a part of your strategy. Thus far, we've primarily done about me videos, explainer videos, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of call to action videos is the three that we use thus far. And like I said, we're still doing analytics around all those, but I mean, really, I would really encourage people certainly to use videos as far that should be part of your marketing strategy on Twitter and all the social media networks, to be honest with you.
Yep, it's all about standing out. And just like Thomas said, you have to like test things out for yourself. So we can spout out the stats. You can look up stats on thing all you want, but you
Mhm.
have to know that you have to try things for yourself and test it out to
Right,
make sure it's going to work for your brand.
right.
So you can, I mean, it's free. It's free to test it out. You can make some videos and you can post them. You can just use your telephone and you can post it right from your mobile app and post the videos. So that's an actionable item for you right there. And just try it out. You know, if you're a blabber or if you're a YouTuber, that should be very easy for you to test out a video on Twitter and just see what kind of responses you get. And you may have to do it. Well, not may have to. You will have to do it more than once to really kind of make your test, to quantify your test. Because just, Twitter feeds are fast. So unless your followers are on at the time when you post that particular video, they may not see it. So
Yeah,
you want to make sure that you do that more than once. And then you
yeah,
can still retweet that information out again. So
yeah.
there's ways to do that as well.
Yeah, you do it different times of the day because
Mm-hmm.
as well because we seem to get a lot of engagement around 12 noon, but then again I also see quite a bit of engagement in the evening. So once again, I think for your brand you have to test it and do the analytics around it because obviously you want to do the videos as the images and whatever when the
Mm-hmm.
people are on and when people are really engaging, and then you want to do more of those same type of videos once you do the analytics around it. So
Right.
very important to do the analytics and be sure that you're measuring what you're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
and your clients are really appreciating it, right? I mean, or your potential clients.
And Small Biz Show TV, which is Gail, she said that she also heard someone say that they send thank yous to their people, which is nice. And I've
Yeah,
actually done that as well. I've actually
right.
had people who subscribe to me on YouTube, and I actually sent them a direct message and I sent them a video and told them thank you. And so that's a great way to
It's
really
powerful.
connect with somebody. Just like you're connecting with us here over on Blab, you can see our faces, you can see like our body language. So you can tell a lot about people just when you see them. So the videos I think are just going to be huge. The social media platforms aren't just bringing them on for no reason. It's a reason why videos are coming up, and if you're going to be a marketer on Twitter, then it's something that you really have to consider that you need to start using.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was kind of neat, I actually had someone actually send me a video to schedule an appointment, and I hadn't seen that used, but I thought that was pretty ingenious, and I mean, I thought, wow, okay, this is really interesting. A video to schedule an appointment, but it got my attention. So I think, that's what I thought was really neat about it. I hadn't had anyone schedule an appointment with me quite that way before. And so there's a lot of creativity around some things you can think outside the box in the use of videos. And,
Yeah, I hadn't thought
everyone,
about that either. That is
yeah,
pretty interesting.
yeah. Yeah, well, it worked for me. I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, it worked on me. I mean, they were the person that got my attention, that's for sure. But anyway, just a thought, just a food for thought.
All right. So this next one that we're going to talk about, some might say this is a little bit controversial. I guess not controversial is that a word?
Controversial.
Controversial. Y'all know my public school education is kicking in now. It's kicking in,
We'll
but
keep you straight.
um, oh, thank you. So this is like a technique, and me and Thomas kind of talked extensively about this one, and this is about asking people to
Mm,
retweet. And I have to say, when I first really started using Twitter, and helping other people with their Twitter marketing, I wasn't too sure about asking people for retweets. But me being me, I like to test things out and see if they're going to work. And I actually came across a gentleman that he wrote an article about. The whole article was only in reference to asking people for retweets. And so I read the article and I was like, okay, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on this one. I'm going to try it. Because at first I was thinking, that seems like a kind of a desperate act to just blatantly ask people, please ask for a retweet. Some of those people I don't really know. And so I don't have a deep relationship with them yet. And so should I ask them for a retweet? I don't know. So I decided to test it because it's all about testing when you're using it for your business. You got to find out what works for you. And so I began to kind of integrate the please retweet into my tweets. And I immediately saw a difference in the engagement on the tweets that I sent out. Now, I only asked for the please retweet on tweets that are originally my content. So if I'm retweeting somebody else's stuff, I usually retweet it in its entirety. I don't really make any changes to it. Or I just add a comment or a quote to their tweets if I'm retweeting. But for my own original content, I always ask for a please retweet. And I've definitely seen a huge difference in the engagement by doing that. And so, but at first, I just have to say that I thought that, people were going to actually stop following me and, unfollow me and go away in hordes because, that fear is always there. But it was very unfounded. And so I found that just the simple act of putting a couple of letters in front of the tweet, it made a huge difference for my business and also for the people that I help, the other business owners and entrepreneurs. And so that's a great tip for you, is to actually ask people to retweet. And not only is it's just there's some simple words, but it's a call to action. So we're going to talk about calls to action in a minute also, but you want to tell your followers what to do and not just expect them to behave the way that you want them to. And so just a simple act of saying, please retweet, gives them a call to action. And usually I do pretty good on the
because Elizabeth and I talked about this one a lot. I would suggest you try it. Now, I know that she uses PLS quite a bit, right? And we actually talked about this. I know right now, to Twitter makes we still got the 140, and we keep hearing that they're going to change this, even though I'm still not happy about this change. Be honest with you, I'm just going to say it. I'm not happy about it. But
it's okay, Thomas. It's okay.
Because they're changing their personality. It's just I'm okay. I'm not gonna get on my rant, but anyway, that's my 2 cents. But I always like to I usually spell out the word, and I test it both ways. I'm not trying to PLS, but I usually type out the PLEASE and then the whole word retweet. And I know some people, they shorten it and things of that nature. But I just find that I get more engagement when I actually type out the entire word. And now maybe it's just because I'm a guy and I don't know what it is. I haven't figured out why that is yet. But so you try it. Some people I know Elizabeth uses PLS quite a lot for shorten it. But I typically type out the entire word. And that's just and so, you try it and see what works for your brand, because it's all about what works for you. So we're giving suggestions from experience that we had using it for our agencies as well as our clients. But, you try these things and, like I said, a statistic is only as good as it is when it works for you. I mean, be honest with you and your brand. And then also,
and there's actually are some statistics out there that suggests that when you actually write out the words, please retweet, it does better. And so it definitely does better if you ask for it to begin with. And then it does even better if you spell it out. However, it does take up important characters, because right now we only have 140 characters. And if you use an image like I do on most of my tweets, that you don't have that many characters anymore. You have only like 118, I believe, that you can use. And so you really have to be strategic when you're like structuring your tweet. And so I always just use the PLS. However, I usually spell the retweet out so people know exactly what I'm talking about. So, and it's, the PLS and RTW, those are kind of like the Twitter lingo
Sure.
anyway. If you've been on Twitter for a while, people know
Right.
what it is. So I think it's okay to use it. But again, I agree with Thomas that if you spell it out, that you'll get more. It'll increase the likelihood of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way. If you put them, because there's some other elements that need to be in your tweets
Right.
as well for
Well,
to get better engagement.
well,
But
even shorteners, like
definitely,
I find when you spell it out and use Bitly, I get the most engagement versus using other
mm-hmm,
link shorteners, right? So it's just
mm-hmm,
once again, it's about that analytics and that experimentation for your tweets, and and once you find out where the good ones are, you keep doing more of those, obviously.
mm-hmm. Yep,
Okay.
definitely. So ask for the retweet and see what happens. That's a test for you. That's another actionable item for you, is to actually ask for a retweet and see what happens. And of course you have to do it more than once. Whenever you're doing testing, you can't just test one time and say it doesn't work, because remember your Twitter feed is really
And
fast.
try also different
So the
times of the
next
day,
thing,
different times.
and at different times of the
Yes.
day, always. So you have to and make note of what you're doing. So if you're just doing things kind of haphazardly,
Oh,
it's not going to
okay.
work. All right. So the next thing that we want to talk about is posting differently, posting your actual content to the different social media networks in a different manner.
Mm,
So what we mean by that is, I'll just give you an example. You have Twitter, and then you have Facebook, and then maybe you have Google Plus. And so each one has kind of like different rules as to what you can post, how you post it, what ways to get better engagement. But you don't really want to post like the same exact content, or let's say you did like a tweet and you posted that tweet, the information in the tweet, you post that on Facebook, you post it on Google. Well, on Facebook and Google, they're going to get a different type of engagement, or if not no engagement at all, because the rules just are different on the different social media networks. Also, you have to think about your groupies. And I call people groupies because, and if you've been on social media for any length of time, and you're running a business, and you're participating on more than one social network, you're definitely going to see people that follow you on all the networks. And so it might be Mr. Thomas might follow me on Twitter, and then he'll follow me on Pinterest. He goes to my YouTube channel. He makes comments on my Facebook page. And so those are the people that I call groupies. So I say groupies with love, because everybody likes groupies. We don't want stalkers, bad stalkers, but the groupies are
well,
okay with
stalkers
us.
stalkers with
And
money is
so,
okay if they're stalkers and they have money.
well, we're not going to get into the money thing, but yeah. Yeah, the groupies with the money are good, and the stalkers are good too. That's what
Yeah,
we're going for.
you said,
But yeah, so you want to post things in different. You want to be considerate of the people that are following you around, and also you want to talk to people the way that they expect to be talked to on the different networks. Because again, there's always those written rules, and then there's always the rules that are unsaid, that are dictated by
right.
the community. And so for Twitter, you can do that 140 characters, and it's good. Of course, you can't take a Facebook status update and post it on Twitter. You don't have enough characters. So you have to do things a little bit differently. And it just makes it better for your groupies, and it'll make it better for you as far as engagement. And that's across the board on all the social media
Yeah.
networks.
Well, you also find like maybe with the Facebook groups, you can get away with certain things then on Facebook you can't even on
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn and some of the others. So you got to kind of know the rules, right? About each platform,
You got
and
to
you
kind
got
of
to
know the
play by
rules.
the rules. Just like on Twitter, you can tweet out 30, 40, 50 times a day. You try that on Facebook and LinkedIn, and that's you considered a spammer, and people are going to be like ready to kick you off, right? So you have to be very
Yeah, you don't want to
strategic
be
with
spam.
your with how you're doing it, and and make sure that they each like I said, every platform, make sure you're following the rules and make sure that you're not you never want to be considered as a spammer, right? And you want to be sure that you're putting valuable information. And just like we talk about analytics on Twitter, you do the insights on Facebook, make sure you're doing the analytics on every platform. And I know this is a lot of work, but it's a lot of work to do to really to do this, right? So, you want to get it right. If you're going to spend the time and do it, or spend the money and do it, you want to get the most bang for your buck, and that's why you do the analytics. And that's just the bottom
Yep, exactly. That we're always gonna you'll hear us say that a lot. So you guys might want to look at your
line. Right.
analytics. So that it tells you a lot of information. All right. So for those of you that are just coming on to our Smart Twitter show, we have this every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So if you haven't already subscribed to the show, you can do that by just clicking up over our heads here where we have our little
Yep.
names. And if that man is still white there, then you haven't yet subscribed. So you want to subscribe to the show so that she'll get notifications when this comes out, because we always have fantastic and great information to share with you all. And most of all, we have like actionable items that you can use immediately and to really help you to boost your visibility on Twitter, because you need to be seen as a marketer. And if you are online and you have a business, then you are a marketer on Twitter. So you want to make sure that you are seen. So you can subscribe to us there. And again, my name is Elizabeth Hall with Smart Office Help Social Media Agency. And I help entrepreneurs and business owners to connect with the right audience on Twitter and help them to communicate with people and get better engagement with the people that follow them. And then also I help them to guide followers to where the magic happens, which is to wherever their sales funnel is. So maybe it's a website, maybe it's a sales page, whatever it is, wherever the magic happens for them, that's what I help them with. And Thomas is with Charlotte Social 360, and I'll let him reintroduce himself as well for all of the new people that are coming on to the show.
Thank you, Liz. My name is Thomas L. Clark Jr., and I basically help businesses and brands. We pretty much monitor and manage your social media presence on all the prevalent or the platforms that are not only prevalent but also applicable, I think, applicable to you. And what we do is save the solopreneur, the entrepreneur, the brand, the big brand, small brand time, so they can put their energy back into running their business and get them some maximize their results for new client acquisition, as well as deepening relationships with existing clients. And that's pretty much what our agency does for those. We focus on the social media aspect as well as the reputation management and monitoring aspect as well, because your reputation online is just as important as all the social media tips and tricks and things that we do, as far as we've been talking about, as far as marketing as well. And that's what Charlotte Social Media does for its clients.
Yep. And reputation is very important. You have to be a forward thinker when you're posting things, because you don't know, everything is recorded forever once you post it out there. So reputation management is very important.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, I also wanted to encourage everybody to tweet this out. We still have lots more information to put out, some great information. So make sure you tweet it out to your people. And also, we have a survey. If you weren't here in the beginning, we're going to post the link to we've already posted the link to the survey. And we'd like for you to take the survey if you can just do us a favor and do that, because we're business people just like all of you guys out there. And surveys are a great way for us to better serve you and give you like the information that you need and you want. And so if you can just quickly take the survey, or we'll post it again at the end. Just make a note of the link for the survey. We would greatly appreciate it if you fill that out. All right, so we're going to go on to our next point now, and I think we are at okay.
Number
So we
6.
kind of briefly touched on the calls to action. I think the calls to action again is something is really simple, and lots of people hear it in passing, but I don't think it gets used enough, especially on Twitter because of the 140 characters. And again, until they bring on more characters, that's still crucial space that takes up a tweet. And I think that's why lots of people they don't add the call to action, but it's really important. Whenever you have any marketing materials, whether it be a tweet or if you're just sending out an image, it should have a call to action on it.
Right.
And you can use the same type of words that you would use in any sales copy. It works in tweets as well.
Yes, right.
And so we talked a little bit about the please retweet. The please retweet is a call to action. You don't want to leave things up in the air and just expect people to behave the way that you want them to.
Yep.
You want people to go back to your website. You want them to go to your sales page. You want them to grab downloads that you may have. You may want them to buy the book that you have. Mm-hmm. So it's really crucial that you tell people exactly what you want them to do, and just don't leave things, up in the air when it comes to calls to action.
Well, yeah.
Did you have anything to add on that one, Thomas?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the call to action is a central part of your business. I mean, sometimes you hear this know, like, and trust, and you feel like you got to give out good content and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, we're all in the business to be in the business of making money and furthering our brands and things of that nature. So I guess my point is, don't be shy. Make sure you're adding a call to action and think about it as you're putting your marketing campaign or your strategy together on any platform, and especially Twitter, because the fact that things do move so fast and it is so quick. And, because you figure, what it's about, a couple minutes to 30, 40 minutes when people view it. You see sometime engagement after that, but I don't usually see much after about an hour. So when you put that call to action out there, people really want to know what you would like them to do, right? I mean, because if you don't tell them, they'll be clicking everywhere. They'll be clicking on your hashtag. They may go to your website.
They may not even click on anything. They may just read it.
Right. Absolutely. So you really should suggest to them what you'd like for them to do. And you will find when you do that, you will see quite a bit more engagement than when you don't. So I really suggest putting call to actions in, put it as very much like we said before, test it at different times of the day. Like I said, we tend to see a lot of engagement for our clients in our agency around noon. And then for some reason around 7 p.m. Eastern time is another high time for us. But test that out for your business and your businesses as well. And even certain words, right? I mean, we've talked about this, Elizabeth. Certain words and are very key words. Like you said, we talked about please. When you use social, please retweet, please go to website. So it's just even the words that you use are very important in your call to action as well.
Yeah, very important. And I like the way you put it with suggestion. You're giving people suggestions as to what to do, but it's like purposeful suggestions. And so you want to give them those purposeful suggestions so you don't leave anything to chance. So when they see it and it says, go grab your ticket for this webinar today, they know that they need to go grab it. Grab has like an urgency, some connotations of, urgency there. Yeah. So like I said, like the same types of words that you would use on sales copy, you can use within a tweet as well. And that will definitely help boost things.
Well, you figure like this,
so you want to have those.
You figure like this as a business owner, if you're not creating your urgency, your competitors are, right? I mean, it's as simple as that, right? I mean, we want to create the urgency and, rather than our competition. So, I mean, somebody's out there telling them or suggesting to them what to do. And because I
Yeah,
mean,
and Jacob said he's pretty sure that people don't like being told what to do, but being polite, that's always good. Yeah. So, when you say please and thank you, it goes a
yeah,
long way. So
that's
you
right.
have to use the manners that your mother told you. So
Yeah, absolutely, Jacob.
definitely.
You have to be polite about it, but I think you have to be professionally stern, as I call it, when you or what you suggest
Professionally
people to do.
stern.
Professionally
I'm gonna put
stern.
that in my pocket for later. Professionally stern. I like that. Y'all be talking about my words, but yeah, that was a good one.
All right.
So all right. So the next thing that we wanted to talk about is, and I think this is probably one of the biggest things when it comes to attracting the right followers for engagement, and that is to be an engager yourself. You need to read, like, quote, comment, share, retweet. You need to be an active engager also, and people see that. Um, being here on Blab, this is a great platform to network with people. I've met lots of people and I actually converse with them on Twitter. We follow each other. Some people have like some awesome information that I love sharing. I share their information over on Twitter and they see that. I'm just using me as an example, but they love seeing, that I share their stuff. They love that I talk to them. And so, I don't do it because I just think that they're going to follow me. I mean, not follow me, but to share my stuff. But I do it because I want to be seen as a resource.
Right.
When you share other people's work, it's not that the business is going to be diverted from you. It's showing that you're a resource. You don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers to everything, but you want to make sure that when you're sharing information as well, that it's relevant to your brand.
Absolutely.
So I don't just share any type of information on my Twitter feed. I make sure it's relevant to my brand. So mostly the tweets that you see coming from Smart Office Help are going to be Twitter marketing related. So when I go out and I, find out what people are tweeting, if they're tweeting out specific hashtags about Twitter marketing and I see that it's good, then I always make sure that I share those things. And my community appreciates it. They tell me that they do. So I know that they appreciate it. And then they also share my stuff as well, because that's, it's still a social network and it's all about sharing and retweeting and just adding value to your online community. So that's super important.
Yeah, I think what I'd add, Liz, is I find everything you said is very, very important. I would say, obviously for our brand, we're social media agents. We share a lot. I would say 85% of the things I share are social media oriented. But I also like to mix it in with some sports stuff because I love football. I love sports, humor, quotes. Comment on blogs, like if it's an influencer that you like or someone's content, whether it's Liz, mine, or Ted Rubin's, whoever. Comment on their blogs. You'd be surprised the engagement you can get with people when you comment on their blog or something that they've done. Feel free to do that and ask for comments on your blog. And Jason, we talked about that earlier. Say please comment, right? Because you want to get feedback on whether this is hitting the mark to your community, right? Because if it isn't, if nobody's looking at your blog at all, you don't even know if they like it, right? Ask for them. I think that's extremely important, and certainly be willing to reciprocate as well. I think that's also as important. As you're asking, you're willing to reciprocate, and your community also has to see that you're doing that in your Twitter feed and all throughout all your other social media networks as well. I think that's very, very important.
Yep, definitely. And I always call myself a habitual commenter, because if I ever been to your blog or your website and there is a place for me to put a comment, I'm going to leave a comment, because to me that's just the best way to support somebody. So even if I don't know that person, if they share some good information, I have no problem leaving a quick comment. It takes less than a minute to leave, a comment, thanking people for the information that they put out, or even just go ahead, take the extra mile and tweet it out to my community, because if I find great information, I'm definitely going to share it with my community as
Yes,
well.
absolutely. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
like it's probably I can think of at least 12 to 15 people, and it's more, but just come to mind for me every day that I think, my God, they're putting out phenomenal stuff, right? I mean, they're just, their stuff is
It's
just,
karma. It's like it's Twitter karma
yeah,
that you're putting out.
right,
When you say when you send stuff out to the world and you make you putting your karma out there. I just made that up, by the way, but y'all can use it if you want to. Twitter karma. So yeah, you can use the Twitter karma. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next topic because we
yes,
are quickly running out of time. But the next thing we want to talk about is to retweet to your followers. And we kind of touched on this, but we want to retweet to the right followers to get
right.
noticed. And me and Thomas we kind of had a long discussion about this one too, because y'all just don't know. Me and Thomas, we can chit chat about Twitter all day long. But we try to keep when we say I'll need to talk to you for 5 minutes. It's usually like a 2 hour conversation,
Right,
and it's out of
absolutely.
control.
Yeah.
So,
So, so,
but you want to retweet to the right followers. So what we mean by that is a great way to get attention, and we kind of touched on this also, is to retweet influencers within your industry. And I kind of use influencers
yes, that's
loosely
right. That's right.
because we also discussed that what makes an influencer, and really an influencer is relative to the person that's using that term.
Right.
Because what's influential to Thomas may not be influential to me, and
Absolutely.
we're in the same industry, so there's some influencers to him in his industry that
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Right.
So
Right.
it's all relative when it comes to influencers. But
Yeah.
the point is that you want to get noticed. You want to put your Twitter karma out there, and you want to start communing with your influencer so they'll see you, and that maybe they'll start sharing their stuff. So I'm just going to use one, and this is I won't say if they're influencer or not because I don't want bad mouth or good mouth anybody on here. But like Guy Kawasaki, he's kind of in our industry. He's an industry leader. We'll put him that way.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I want to, and he has millions of followers. So maybe I want to try to get his attention some kind of way. Maybe I'll send him a video, or maybe I'll go comment on his blog, or I try to do something to get attention because people just don't find you and just decide that hey, that little guy over there, I'm gonna help him out. That doesn't usually happen. You wish for it, but it doesn't usually happen. And so you kind of have to get the ball rolling yourself when it comes to that. So you want to try to retweet to the right people, to the people that are influential within your industry. And for everybody, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually find some information in your Twitter analytics for that as well, for people that are deemed influential as far as your Twitter community. So you can look into your analytics for that. So did you have anything else to add on that one,
Yeah, just for the sake of
Thomas?
time, yeah, I would say, you can use advanced search. It's a lot of think about the tone of the person, because just because a person and an influencer, I think this point I want to make sure we go home with this one. Just because a person has 300,000 followers, that don't mean necessarily they're an influencer to you. I've seen people with like 3,000 followers, and I think they do great stuff. And to me, they're an influencer because I like their tone, I like their brevity, I like
Mm-hmm.
I like how they market to people. I watch how they market on all their channels, and I especially take a look notice the Twitter ones as well as others. But I mean, so I mean, just think about influencer. Once again, it doesn't have to be the Guy Kawasaki's. It doesn't have to be even people like to be around like Ted Rubin, which I think he does great stuff. Social Media Examiner does great stuff. But there are other people
Mm-hmm.
out there that you should really be watching them
Mm-hmm.
and, commenting, no like and trust on their things as well, and asking
Mm-hmm.
for feedback, right, on your blogs and things of that nature, and letting them know that you like their posts, you like their
Right.
videos, you like whatever they're doing, because, I mean, you want to hear both sides of that coin, be honest with you, as a marketer. You want to know if
Mm-hmm.
people are not appreciating, but if somebody really likes your stuff, I think it's a nice gesture sometimes
Yeah.
just to allow,
And
let them know.
a great example is, and I mostly everybody on here knows her because she's always on Blab,
Hmm.
and that is Eileen Smith.
Yes,
And
we talked
to me,
about
she's
her
an
last night.
influencer for me.
Right.
And I'm a groupie. I'm a groupie of hers also. So I follow her around and I subscribe to her YouTube channel, and I know I'm on her blogs, and she has courses out and everything, and she's a really she's an in the know person. So definitely. She's an influencer within our community. So, and she doesn't have like millions of followers, but definitely she
Right.
adds value to
Absolutely.
our community. And she puts a lot of Twitter karma out there also.
Yes, she does.
So yeah, so again, the whole influencer thing is all kind of it's a relative term. So before we kind of end this, because we want to answer some questions also
Mhm.
at the end, I just wanted to, for those of you that are just coming on, I want to thank you for joining us here on the Smart Twitter
Uh-oh.
Talk. And we have them every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you follow us. So you can follow us. It's not the same as following on Twitter. So you need to follow us here on Blab. So if you go up here above our little heads where we have our little marquee, you just need to, if the man is white, you haven't followed us, so you need to follow us. So you notified when we have the next shows as well. And then we'll also post the next show in a few moments. We'll post a link to the next show so you guys can go ahead and subscribe to that. But um, that's let me just tell you why it's just so important that we get the message out about Twitter. And Twitter doesn't pay us anything to do this. We know from helping our clients, coaching them, and just listening to their questions, and really trying to help them out. We know what works, and so we try to help people to use that information as well. So really encourage you to take action with the information that we're giving you. And again, my name is Elizabeth Hall with Smart Office Hub Social Media Agency. And I make it my job to help entrepreneurs and business owners to really find the right people on Twitter, and to also, you just can't tweet out anything. I try to help them with some tactical strategies so that they can put the correct content out there to their followers, to their community. And then, the ultimate goal is to get people into your sales funnel. And that's what I help people with. And, that's why you should subscribe to the next show, because we always add value to our community. And we want you to use that information that we're giving you, and you can start using it immediately. And not only that, you have to kind of make an investment in your business as well. So if you're not, if you're really kind of on the edge and you really don't understand what's going on and you just need some help with it, then you can email me. I will post my email, and you can just email me at blab@smartofficehelp.com, and I can help you with your coaching needs as far as social media and Twitter. And I'll let Thomas also again
Sure. For
introduce
those just
himself.
came in, I think it was DJ. I think I may have missed it. Came in from Miami, and whoever else just joined. Hopefully, we didn't miss anyone else. And I know Leon is thanking and welcoming everybody. But my name is Thomas L. Clark Jr. I am the founder and CEO of Charlotte Social 360, and what we are is a digital agency, um, that helps our clients basically get new clients and deepen relationships with existing clients. We look at you from a reputation management and monitoring perspective, as well as manage your social media for busy entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, things of that nature that don't have the time to professionally manage their social media. marketing and campaigns and things of that nature. That's what our agency does for our clients. And I will just piggyback on something that Elizabeth says. I think it's very, very important to for those maybe didn't hear us. We talk a lot about analytics. We talk a lot about Twitter and all these different social platforms. But I think it's very important to write down, document, take these tips that you may hear from week to week. Being that this is week 3 for our 4-part series on Twitter marketing, maximum engagement tips. And try them. I mean, I really encourage you to try these things with your clients, the different image sizes, the different video uses, the retweets, and then just all the points that we talked about today. Because once again, we give you statistics and how they work for our clients and our agency, but I mean, it's all relative to how it works for you. And then once you do your analytics around it, then you can also tweak it and make changes to make it better for your community. And that's really the bottom line.
Yeah. And so with that also, let's see, we are just about ready for some questions. Did you want to add anything else, Thomas?
We have
anything that you like?
We have a couple other things that we didn't cover. I'll just say I can put my URL down for the first quarter. And you'll see this on our website as well, and I'll type it into the chat room. We're offering a 25% discount on our services for our clients for the first quarter of this year. And we did it twice last year, but this year I believe we're only going to do it once. We'll see when the fourth quarter rolls around, but we do have an offer for 25% discount off of any package that our clients buy for the first quarter of 2016. And I'll type in our URL link if anyone is interested. And if you just want to discuss strategy, because I mean, part of what we do on the front end, we spend an inordinate amount of time talking about the strategy and making sure we do, I hate to call it assessment, we do a consultation with our clients. And we obviously want to be sure that we're putting them on the right strategy and things of that nature. And then once again, as we talked about, espoused today, we implement those strategies, and if we see they're not working, we make the changes and we try some new things to be sure that we get the engagement that the client wants to reach their goals.
All right, so I'm just going to do a short recap of what we discussed today. And this was actually part 3 of 4 ways to attract warm Twitter followers for maximum engagement. Because like I said before, even though Twitter seems simple at first glance and there's only like 140 characters that you can use, those 140 characters can be really powerful. And there's other things that you can do to really make your tweet skyrocket. So some things that we talked about in this part 3 of how to attract warm followers for maximum engagement are one is to use images. Use videos, and we had some, if you didn't catch this, you can catch it on the replay, but you want to be like really creative when you're using those videos, because you guys came up with some stuff that I didn't even think about. So I might have to use those as well for me and my clients. And so also you want to repost your best tweets. And again, you can find out what your best tweets are just by simply going into your Twitter analytics, which a lot of people never look at. So that's like the best way to measure and then adjust. Because when you're measuring, you want to measure, and then adjust, test things to make sure that they're working. And then also, we talked about asking for a retweet. Don't let that fear get in the back of your head that, asking is like a desperate act, because it's not. It's a call to action, and it can actually boost the visibility of your tweets. And that's to simply say, please retweet. And if you spell it out, it's even better, but it's really up to you. It depends on what you're tweeting as to, how many characters that you have left. Also, you want to post differently on the different social networks. So you're not going to post the same tweet, post it on Facebook, post it on Google+. It's not as effective if you if you're a rule breaker when it comes to that. And then you always want to use calls to action. So that's kind of a given. You would think that every business owner knows on any marketing material that you have, anything that you put out there, you need to have a call
Mm-hmm.
to action. So, and your tweets can have calls to action also. And remember that the same words you use in sales copy are good for your tweets as well. So you want to always add a call to action and not just assume that people know what to do next. Tell them what to do next. And if they do, that's great. And if they don't, and what do we say? We said we're suggesting purposefully. So it's a purposeful suggestion when you are putting your calls to action on your tweets. And then also one of the big things is to be an engager. You be an engager. So you hear about engagements and the two-way communications thing. But if you know put some karma out there, that's Twitter karma to be an engager. And read, like, quote, comment, share, and retweet. Retweet good
Right.
stuff. Be a resource for
Right.
your online
And
community
make
as
sure
well.
you're doing it as
And
well.
then
Make sure you're doing the reciprocating.
yeah.
Yes, right.
Yep, you're reciprocating because that's what it's all about. That's that Twitter karma. I
And,
made that
and
up on this show,
I call
y'all.
it professional. I call it
I
professionally
like that.
stern.
And I like the professionally stern. I have to write that down. I forgot. I didn't write
It's
it
all right.
down. And then so also you want to retweet to the right people to get noticed. So that would be the influencers. Remember that word is
Right.
relative term. Influencers, the influencers
Right.
within your industry, so they can help you share a good word about industry topics and also about your business as well. All right, so and that's pretty much all we have to share. So we're going to answer
Sure.
some questions, and we have a few questions already over on the side. So if you do still have questions, please make sure that you just put that slash and then a Q and then a space, and then put your question so that your question will stand out. Because if you have it over in the chat, we might not see it because the chat
Well,
it kind of rolls
well,
fast sometimes, and we're trying to explain things and we miss it, and so we want to try to get in as many questions as we
if you would like to
can.
come in,
And then here's my influencer has just arrived. Miss Eileen is here, and so we were talking about you, Eileen, just to let you
yeah,
know. But we're going to go ahead and answer some questions.
yeah,
And
good.
so let's see, we have this question here. Let me see if it come in. All right, and the question is, what is a call to action? So, would you like to take that one,
Yeah, I
Thomas?
mean, I think Anna on the side actually, I have to take my hat off on the people. Anna and a number of people on the side are really going at it over here, answering some of these questions. But from a call to action perspective, it's a professional suggestion, right, of what you would like your engager to do, whether they're engaging your tweet, whether they're retweeting, you want them to go to your website. You're basically giving them some professional, polite suggestion of what's the next step to take in the journey. Now, if you want them just to
Mm-hmm.
fill out your survey, like we said earlier, that was a call to action. We basically were asking you to fill out our survey. If you want them to go to your website to download a white paper, if you want them to go read your blog post. So once again, it's thinking about
Mm-hmm.
that strategy, that sales strategy, because you always have to have a call to action around that sales strategy. It may be just to sign up for, you want their email and their email address. I mean, so think about when you're asking what you're asking for, and be sure that you're making a call, a suggestion, a professional suggestion, or um, being sternly professional, as I call it, to ask them to do something, to take action. Because if you don't, nothing will happen. You will have crickets. You will get no engagement. They may click because they like it, but if you suggest what you'd like to happen, people, if they like your information or if they want the information, access to that white paper, they will do what you suggest. So, I mean, that's what I see as a call to action. Any other,
Also,
anything else, Elizabeth?
oh no. Also, I wanted to invite anybody that wants to come on and ask your question personally, because we love conversing with people. So you can come on, and if you have a question, just
Let's
come
come
on.
on
But
in.
of course, you have to have a profile on the bio to get in, and but we still would love to see your questions. All right, so we have one coming up.
Is that Eileen?
Hello.
Eileen's coming in, and she's one of my influencers, and I'm one of her groupies. So yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Miss
Yeah,
Eileen, how you
yeah.
doing?
how y'all doing today?
We're
We're
doing
doing
excellent.
fabulous.
Okay, I'm testing out a Twitter tool because y'all are talking about Twitter, right?
Right. Yes,
Yes.
correct.
And you, because you guys know I just got here. So were you talking about any tools that you use like for Twitter growth? If not, I have a tool that I wanted to find out if you have ever tried.
Yes,
Mm-mm.
let's hear it.
Yeah, let's hear about your tool.
It's called Narrow, and it's narrow.io.
I've heard of it. I checked it out a little bit, but I
I'm
was
familiar with that.
kind of using some other tools that were kind of working for me, so I didn't really gravitate to that one. But I have heard of that tool before,
Okay.
and I've heard of other people say they had like a lot of success using it.
Yeah, my friend Nicholas Scalise, he interviewed the guy. I believe his name is Sujan Patel,
Mm.
and he has this even bigger um, startup that's called contentmarketer.io, and this Narrow is part of the Content Marketer. So you can get like a 7-day trial. So I'm on a 7-day trial. Actually, I'm using it on my daughter's account because I've actually haven't used that kind of a following tool on my own account because I'm just a little, leery about what I might wind up getting. But my daughter's account needs to grow because she doesn't really have as much time to spend on social because she's designing people's websites and getting new clients and all that stuff. So I was just wondering, like, what is your experience with using a tool to build the following, since you don't have experience with Narrow, maybe there's another tool that you prefer or that you might recommend?
Well, it's so many out there. It kind of depends on um it kind of depends on where you're at in the whole Twitter journey as to what could work for you, because you don't want to like go too complicated with the tools that you use. And there's so many out there. So it's really like I like to kind of talk to people first before I like recommend specific tools.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, there's different tools that I use like for statistics. And then of course I use like Hootsuite if I want to do like some bulk posting, but I do the bulk posting and this different. Not everything that I post goes through Hootsuite. And so it's just like so many tools. We actually talked about doing a show about the resources. So that'll be on one of the future shows as well.
The main thing is really the growing of the following, because we have somebody doing the posting and all that. But of course, you don't want to just get any old followers.
Right.
Right. I would say I'm not going to say any specific tools, but I would say to use a tool where it has like filtering options, like you said, because you just don't want to just follow any old body. You want to be specific with your specific.
Okay. All right.
You want to be specific with your following, and so the filters are good for kind of weeding things out for that. But before you go, Eileen, I just wanted to ask you, even though you just came into today's show, I know that you usually duck your head in on the other shows, and we just wanted to find out what do you think about the Smart Twitter Show? What do you think about the
that's the name of the show? It's a Smart Twitter Show?
It's the Smart Twitter Talk Show.
Oh, yeah, I think it's wonderful. And, I started a little bit of doing a Twitter show myself because I think it's really important that folks here on Blab learn about Twitter, because a lot of people are on Twitter for the first time, and they only got on Twitter because they wanted to get on Blab, or they had an account and it was just sitting dormant because, they were just like, oh, I know I need to be on Twitter, but I don't really care about it.
Right.
So they probably need some guidance and, some suggestions of how to develop a strategy, how Twitter can benefit them. And I know that you two are very good teachers, so they are in the right place.
Well, thank you. That was very nice, Eileen.
You're welcome.
Very, very, very
All
nice.
right.
When
So
you asked about,
we still want to see if we have any more people that want to come on also
Yeah.
and ask us your best questions, and we'll answer some more questions from our over on the side here as well.
So did you have any additional input around the call to action? No, I think we pretty much got that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we are going.
That's a good question.
On the please.
All right, we're going to go to our next question, and that one is on the please retweet aspect. Is it worth the characters gone between 7 and 12 to be gone when you do that? And we kind of talked about that too, and it depends on what it is worth to you, of course. And so that's why I kind of shorten mine to like the PLS, and then I spell out the retweet as well. And so I think we already answered this question, but I just wanted to kind of retouch on it since it was
I
over.
would say two guys talking, try it. I mean, because, obviously Elizabeth and I talked about this earlier. I actually type it out, but try it. I mean, try the PLS, try typing out PLEASE, retweet, both words, and see what works for you. Because remember, at least for now, you only have the 140 characters. So I would just say try them both. Try them both ways.
Yep. Would anybody else like to come in and join us and ask your question?
How do you feel about Twitter?
Don't be afraid. Remember, this is the Pajama Network. Come on. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be super camera ready to get on. All right.
It's Donald.
So I'm going to pop out, and
thank you, Eileen.
That'll encourage somebody else to pop in. Oh, there's Donald.
All right. Thanks, Eileen.
I want to say
Appreciate
hi long enough to say hi to Donald, because I don't think I've ever seen him before.
Yeah, we're waiting for Donald to come in.
This must be his first time, because there you go. Oh, he's in the car.
All right.
He's in the car.
Hi, Donald. All right, guys, I'm popping out.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Eileen.
Thank you, Eileen.
Hi, Donald.
He's driving. I hope he's not driving.
Donald, are you still there? We can't hear you. We see you, but you're kind of frozen.
Why are we getting Donald in? Jason, why don't you jump in? Jason seems to have a lot of questions on the side there.
Oh, Donald, you might have to refresh because we're not getting you. Yeah, I can tell you can hear what we're saying, but it's like you're on the screen, but we got nothing. So I'm going to X you out, but you can try to come back in again if you like. And that way we kind of refresh. Would anybody else like to come in and ask a question?
Wow. Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting for Donald to try to come back in, if anybody else would like to come in, let us know. Let's see. We're going to delete this question here. And all right. Now we had Mr. Leon asked a question about what size are the images that you have and the formats. Now, we talked about this on a previous show as well, and the sizes of the images now are that I don't have the image size here with me, but if anybody wants to know, you can email me to find out the image size. But now Twitter has actually kind of, they don't crop images anymore. So you can have a bigger image than they had before. They don't have specific image sizes any longer. I still use the size that they had before they made the change, because this was really recent. So now you can post a bigger image and it'll show bigger in your feed. So, but to make sure that everything looks really nicely in the feed, you want to use the original image sizes that they had. And so I'll try to have that on the next show as well. So if you guys aren't following us for the next show, then you need to, like, if it's still the little man up there, he don't have no color and he doesn't have a little check mark by him, then that means you're not subscribed. So just make sure that you subscribe, and we'll post a link to the next show as well, so that you guys can go ahead and subscribe for that. So if anybody else would like to jump in the seat,
I think Jason
we'd
had a
be happy to
question.
answer your questions as well. Don't worry if you're not camera ready. This is the Pajama Network again.
I think
you can jump on board.
Liz, I think Jason had a question, I believe, on the side. I didn't see it come up under the queue.
I cannot get it. Oh, wait, I think I do. Here we go.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got Donald coming back in also. Let me pull Donald in, see if we can get him in to ask his question.
Yeah, there it is. You got it.
Well, while he's still trying to come in, I want to answer Jason's question. And he says, how do you feel about Twitter bombing? Now, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by Twitter bombing, but I think what you mean, and you can give me some props if I got it right, if you don't want to jump in. But I think what you mean is where you just post like the same tweet and you post it like every minute, and that's all you post. So is that what you mean, Jason?
Or does he mean like you just bombarding the Twitter feed?
Kind of. Period. Do you want to kind of expand on that? Because I don't really know. I don't really understand what you mean. So if you can expand on your question, that would be great. And Gail asked the question, how long will it be? But I don't know what that's a reference to either. So Gail, if you want to expand on your question as well, you can.
Hey, Liz, Jason is basically saying Twitter bombing. This is what I thought he meant. Just constantly, just like every 30 seconds doing a tweet is what he means, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, as far as Twitter bombing goes, I wouldn't recommend it because it's.
I would, well, let me take over. I would, Jason, let me give you my suggestion. I would not do it at all. Because be honest with you, if you did that and I was following you, I'd unfollow you. I mean, because I think what you mean is somebody putting out a tweet like every 10 or 15 seconds, just constantly throwing them out. I mean, that's just crazy. That's, it's, and I mean, crazy in the sense that, that's really showing no value. That's not showing any thought to your user community. I mean, you just tweeting, just putting stuff out there just to see what reaction you're getting, right? I mean, that's not even a good analytics test to do that. So, Liz, I'm sure Liz would agree with that. Twitter bombing, if that's what you mean by, every 10, 15 seconds is tweeting, no, absolutely not. Okay, so I believe that we answered the question about Twitter bombing. I think, Jason, can you type in number 1 if we answered your question into the chat? I believe we did. I think we're frozen here. We're having a little blab. Thank you.
That's okay, Thomas. We've got you back. We've got you. While we just get back Liz in here, and we can with the questions. We do have an open seat, and if anybody wants to jump in, you can do so. Ask your question. Did we get to this? How long are the characters, if not 140?
Yeah, that's the question. How long will the characters be, if not one? What they're talking about, I think, Gail, is what you're asking, is they're talking about putting it up to 10,000 characters. That hasn't been official as of yet, but that they're going to actually do it. But it seems like that's the direction Twitter is going, that they're going to extend that. And I know you heard me rant earlier about it. I just don't like it. That's just me. Now, there's some people that love it, right? The possibility of it, I just think it's going to take away for the whole Twitter profile. I mean, that's like Twitter's personality, the brevity, things of that nature. So that's just my reasons for not liking the proposed 10,000 character limit, because to me, it's going to make Twitter very similar to Facebook and all the other social media platforms. And the thing that most people that use Twitter and use it very, very professionally and very, very very advantageously for their business. They like the brevity. They like the fact that it's fast moving and things of that nature. So anyway,
All right, I'm
so
back, y'all.
I think it's too short, but 10,000 is too long. Okay. All right. So yeah. So I mean, it'll be between those two. You don't have to use 10,000, obviously, but some people think 140K is too short. But once you get in with Twitter and you understand, with DMs and the way people had their profiles set up, you can actually use it very effectively even with a 140K. And we can talk some more about that as well. All right. So I agree with you, Gail, on that. Maybe 140 is too short, but I like it that way. So yeah, some people will find a way to use 10,000. I agree with you, Gail. Matter of fact, if somebody kept tweeting me at 10,000 characters all the time, I'd be like, really? Are you trying to use every character of space and film?
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like writing a blog almost, but anyway.
Yeah, I have to agree. I totally I don't understand the whole 10,000 thing, because I thought, in my opinion, the 140 characters really, that kind of was like the nuts and bolts of Twitter and what kind of makes Twitter Twitter. But we have to just roll with the punches, and you can't just say, as if you're using Twitter as a business or any social network, you can't just say, I'm gonna hate this, or I hate change. You have to kind of just roll with the punches, because remember, you are technically working on rented space, so you have to play by their rules when it comes to things like that.
All right.
So does anybody else have any questions? I don't know if there was any more questions in the comments. I think I lost them when I kind of floated away.
When we lost you, we answered a couple. I didn't see any more come in. I was trying to watch the feed. Is there any other questions that anyone has for today about our part 3, or anything just in general about anything we discussed today, or things of that nature?
Well, while we're waiting to see if anybody else has any questions, again, if you kind of came in on the end, just to let you know who we are and why you should be listening to us in the first place. It's not that we just love Twitter, or Twitter paid us to do anything. It's that we have actually done lots of testing, and trying things out to see what works. And so we like to share those with our online community. And that's what we're doing here on the Smart Twitter Talk Show. And we have this show every Wednesday, and it's at 4 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you subscribe, and we'll have a link over on the chat so that you can subscribe to the next show. And again, my name is Elizabeth Hall with Smart Office Help, social media agency. And
since Liz, you keep freezing.
To connect with that audience, communicate with them as well. And then help see me. Yeah. Okay. Things are going a little wonky on my computer today. I don't understand it. They don't want me to get my message out. Whoever the little elves in there, they don't want to work right. But also, I'll let you reintroduce yourself as well, Thomas, as we have some people that might have just came in on the end.
Yes, Donald, sorry we couldn't get you in this time. Please come join us. We do this every week, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know what was going on with your connection, but my name's Thomas Clark, and basically I am the leader, owner of Charlotte Social 360. We are a reputation monitoring, social media monitoring, and management agency for businesses and brands. Basically, we pretty much professionally manage your social media presence and make sure your reputation is in place. We check out what's going on, make sure you're listed in the right places online, and make sure your listings are accurate, things of that nature, because that's just as important as managing your social media presence from our perspective. And we basically pretty much take that off your hands for time-strapped entrepreneurs. Because I think of those people that manage their own, come to find that it's a full-time job to do that when you talk about social media and doing it professionally. So that's what we do for our entrepreneurs. We work very closely with our clients, and we also give them access to the platform as well, so they can basically work along with our agency as well.
Yep. And so with that also, if anybody needs coaching, they need help with their Twitter marketing strategies, please you can email me at blab@smartofficehelp.com. So if you see that smartofficehelp.com up there, just put Blab in front of it, blab@smartofficehelp.com. I made an email just for you guys because I love my Blab audience. So you can contact me that way. So that's blab@smartofficehelp.com. And also, I asked earlier, kind of during our pre-show, if anyone has actually purchased the Dig Deep and Excel Twitter Marketing Action Sheets book. And that's the book that I published last year. And it's all about Twitter marketing and how you can boost your business. And if you are one of the people that have purchased the book, I would love to hear from you. If you have, please put a 1 over in the chat. And if you haven't, I encourage you to go over to Amazon and pick the book up. And that's the Dig Deep and Excel Twitter Marketing Action Sheets guide. Also, if you could please, I don't see any ones over there, so that means you guys need to go over to Amazon and buy the book. So I'm going to put the link in there for you as well. Also, the survey. We have a survey. If you weren't on earlier, we have the survey link posted. And it's just as a favor to us, as a fellow business owner and a marketer, we would love it if you go over and you fill out the survey. It's a very quick survey. It only has a few questions, and we have the link here for you to do that as well. And this will help us to serve our community better and come up with the material that you guys want to hear about. So, it's easy for us. We can talk all day about Twitter marketing, but we want to be specific. We want to be specific with our message so that we want to know what resonates with you and what your needs are. So it would be great if you could go over and do the quick
we
survey
really appreciate
for us.
that.
We would greatly appreciate
we very much so appreciate
it
if you could do that. As a business owner, that's very, we obviously want to know exactly what you want to hear about.
Yeah, and if you need the link to the Dig Deep Twitter Marketing Action Sheets book, you can also email me at blab@smartofficehelp.com, and I'll send that to you as well. And that has actually 14 worksheets so that you can take immediate action on your Twitter account as well, so that you can see results. So the email is posted there. All right. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for today's show, and we're pretty much right on time. Does anyone last call for a question? We got like 2 minutes. Last call. If anybody has a question that they'd like to come on and talk about, we can take that. If not, just make sure that you subscribe to the next show. We have the link over in the comments as well. If you haven't subscribed to us, make sure you do that also, so that you'll be notified when we have the next show. And that's just up above our heads, our little marquee, and just click the little guy and he'll change colors, and that means you're subscribed. And so the link to the next show, because we have these shows every Wednesday, the next show is going to be on Wednesday at 4 p.m.
And
Eastern.
it'll be part 4.
And
part 4 in this series.
And that will be part 4 and the final part in this series, but not the final show. And that'll be the final part for ways to attract warm Twitter followers for maximum engagement. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to sign off for today. And I want to thank everybody again for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. All those that have been before and our newcomers. We hope to see you on the next show. And again, we have Thomas Clark Jr. with Charlotte 360. Charlotte
Social 360.
Thank you.
Easy Charlotte for you to say, yeah.
And me, Elizabeth Hall, with Smart Office Help Social Media Agency. And we will see you guys on
Appreciate
the
your attentiveness, and certainly tweet it out to your friends. We'd love to see you back next week as well.
All right. Signing off. Thanks, guys and ladies.